My wife, 32 female, avoids being in the same space as me, 34 male. Pretty much as the title says. We have been married for 4 years and both of us are working from home for the past 2 years. Lately, I have noticed that whenever I enter her space, she makes a random decision to complete some chore in the house. For example, I work in the basement and she works in the living room, usually with TV running. Whenever I come upstairs to make myself a cup of coffee or snack on something, she immediately shuts the TV off. If I walk into the living room and decide to take a seat, she immediately remembers to take the patio furniture from the deck cause it's been raining or the garbage needs to be removed or something else. I've tried talking to her once about it, but she says it's my own imagination and there is nothing like that. However, I see it and more importantly, feel it very often. Unsure how to approach this. Sorry if this sounds like a rant. Too long did not read. Wife constantly remembers chores to do when I choose to be around her. I do it unconsciously, but when my boyfriend walks into the room and I'm kind of doing nothing or have been sitting in the same position for too long, I'm reminded in the moment to get off my ass and do something, even if it's just for the sake of standing once in a while. It sounds like she's way burnt out and needs some alone time, like real alone time. Maybe she can go away for 2 weeks by herself to fully recharge. Then you guys can do a couple's weekend that's romantic when she gets back, or you can go and join her where she is. You need some romantic time out of the house together. I wouldn't take this personally, though I know it's hard to do that. It sounds like she's probably just absorbed in her work and you entering the room reminds her she needs to move around a bit every now and then. I work in my study and some days my wife peeking in the door and asking if I want coffee is the only thing that prompts me to get out of my chair all day. This might sound crazy, but try pulling back on things, i.e., texting her less, try to be around her a bit less, compliments, etc., just for a few days. See how she reacts to this. If she starts wanting to be close to you, then that means she just needed some space. How is your sex life? Sex is a good barometer in a relationship. My opinion. Couples with low sex life tends to break up easily. Sex gears up emotion like first date. Some things that you could do. 1. During work hours, completely ignore her. Talk to her when she says something to you. Otherwise, do not start conversation or be in her presence at all. 2. Outside of work hours, if she continues to do this stuff, then take some time in the weekends and focus on yourself. Let her know that you feel it, not just that you notice it. It may just be something in your head. But let her know, next time you walk into her space, that you'd like it if she stuck around for a minute, even if there's no physical contact, even if it's in silence. It's a thing that's bothering you, and you should be able to voice that, without setting some expectation on her. Quite often I'll have a list of things I need to do in my head, I'll sit down for 5 minutes, and get distracted. My husband will walk in and remind me that I have things I need to do for us to make our lives better, and I'll go and do them. It's nothing to do with me not wanting to be around him, his presence reminds me that there's things I need to do so that I can relax with him later. It's probably just quarantine stuff. Everyone has their own way of coping. I'm sure she still shares a bed with you, right? Do you take meals together? Don't overthink it. These are very unique times. She has lost desire and respect for you because she's cheating with a better lover. Start moving your money into assets that are immune to divorce like an IUL and prepare for RHE inevitable. How long has she been avoiding you? If it is more than a few days, it is serious. She is no longer in the marriage. You two can and should sit down and talk about it. Find out why or what the problem is. If it can be resolved. Or just divorce. Distance yourself from her. Let her come to you with her concerns, and that will be the moment you both talk about how you feel. How is your sex life? Cues happen from that. Start writing it down every time she does that. Also record on your phone and time it down to the minute before she leaves the room. Do this for 2 weeks. You'll either confirm you're right and have evidence to show her shy can't deny, or prove she's right and hasn't been leaving every time. Are you certain you two didn't have a major argument recently? If someone told me that I was doing this, my first reaction would be confusion and then surprise at it. Not denial and dismissal. This is a wild guess, but she probably thinks she contributes more effort to the relationship, and when she gets up and does a chore, it's a kind way of letting you know she resents you without throwing dishes. I am not saying that this is the issue. But I am an alcoholic and a secret drinker. When my significant other is in the room, I can't drink. It's annoying. Just talk to her about it. Any other advice is moot. And no, I don't mean, try talking to her once. If it's a real issue for you, then sit down with her and have a talk about it, a heart-to-heart. Otherwise, what are you two even doing together, if you can't communicate effectively? Maybe you're spending entirely too much time together. I would normalize the following sentences in your house. Babe, where are you going? I miss you, came in here to see you. I think I need some more time to decompress, chill, zone out alone in my phone. Give me a couple of hours, or 20 minutes or whatever, and then we can, together. This is one thing my ex and I never got over. The only girl I ever lived with did the exact same thing. Other comments say some people just need to get really away from everyone, and I get that, but it's putting that plan on paper, I think. Talk about it. I would ask her how alone she could be and work your way back. I've been alone for seriously extended periods and always enjoyed the bounce back to a normal life. She can't need to check out for hours and hours every day, right? She will try it and get sick of it. Especially if you're busy doing much cooler, more fun stuff. Just might take some time, so please be patient. I was so insecure I couldn't deal and did everything I could to sabotage us. You need to have a proper talk with your wife. A lot of the advice here is saying that it's not a big deal and it's due to you and your wife being constantly around each other. This can be true, but if she tends to leave the space you are in immediately, then it might be something else. Like her leaving the space when you make a cup of coffee is a bit extreme. Do you two spend any time together? Have meals? Shower? Have sex? Anything? I do this too, but out of my own self-consciousness. I realize, oh yeah, significant others here, I should be respectful and take care of chore here. It's a woman thing. Do the same to her, right back at her, let her get a taste of her own med. If she doesn't even notice, that tells you all you need to know and you can walk away. Are you that type of a person who yell or give a bad stare when she's doing nothing? The pandemic gave many relationships challenges. I noticed this exact thing happening to me right before my ex-husband left me. I thought we were happy as could be, but then his behavior changed like this suddenly and it felt more like we were roommates. If you force the conversation, which is what I did, just be prepared that it may lead you down a road you're not ready for. My best advice is to have open but kind communication using I statements, and even though this behavior hurts you, focus on taking care of yourself in this time and do things that you love and enjoy. Also suggest couples counseling to try to work out any issues. Best of luck to you. So you two have both been working from home for the last 2 years. I'm assuming that due to COVID you've also both not been leaving the house as much. Is it possible she's just in need of space? How often do either of you get true alone time? I'm an introvert and I'd lose my mind if I was around anyone for 24/7 for 2 years straight. Gee, you don't have to get up and go each time you go in and she starts to get up. I wonder if she is feeling pent up. I know after a while I start to get a little restless if I am in the same space as others for too long. You've been working from home for 2 years. It's not you. She is just tired of being in the same space as you all the time. It's common across all my couple friends. Is this primarily occurring during her work hours? 2 people working from home over the past couple of years mean that sometimes you're just going to need time to yourself. My own style of working is that I like to be in the zone, and working from home makes it very difficult for me to get in a mental headspace for working. My girlfriend and I live together and work from home, and if she comes in and hangs out for a minute, it pulls me out of work mode and I typically need to do something to reset before I get back into a productive mindset. I can kind of relate to doing that with my ex-husband. I wouldn't intentionally do it, I just didn't necessarily enjoy his presence. I'm not trying to scare you or anything, sorry. But instead of asking her why she's doing that specifically, you should maybe have a talk and make sure her needs are being met and that she's happy. I do this sometimes with my husband and it's because I feel guilty like I haven't been doing anything. Husband walks in and sees me sitting in front of the TV and I feel like, shit, he's going to think I'm lazy. I should do something, so I will jump up and go and do some chore. Maybe she's doing the same thing. After 18 months of working from home together, I do this as well. It's not personal. It's the joys of an introvert and extrovert living in the same space. I'm on at work with video calls and phone and email for 10 hours a day. I do not want to spend my few minutes of break talking to or being around another human. I love him, but I need alone time. Being in different rooms in the same house is not alone time. It's really awkward to tell someone, dude, I need you to leave for a bit. Her suggesting you go out is probably that. But the thing is that you actually need to have this conversation and make it safe for her to say that. You won't know from randos on the internet what she is feeling. But whatever she says, try not to take it personally. It's likely not about you at all. When I worked from home, my husband would come, visit me after he got out of work and hang out in the space I was working at. He never made any noise, usually just chilled out, but a lot of times it put me on edge and out of the zone, so I understand. I wonder if you could have agreed upon work hours, where you don't bother each other or enter each other's space. It sounds like she doesn't even realize she's doing it, so you may have to have a few specific incidents to refer to. If she sticks to the whole, "You're not bugging me, nothing's going on," then I think you need to just accept it's a weird thing your wife does and it's not an action she's consciously making against you. What else is going on in her life? I can see why this would be hurtful. But to be honest, especially when working from home, when I'm lazing around and my boyfriend comes in, the presence of another human being gives me a little push, motivation, reminder to finally go do my chores. It could just be that. Or she could just subconsciously want some alone time if you guys are WFH all day around each other. It sounds silly, but maybe she's just embarrassed about having the TV on while she's working. Maybe she thinks it will make her look bad or just feels weird about it, even if you would be understanding, so she gets up to do something productive to show that she's being productive. I wonder if she'd be happier not working in a shared area. You're probably interrupting her flow when you come up for coffee and snacks. Does she come downstairs to the basement to hang out with you while you're working? So I grew up with a shitty parent who'd make fun of me for literally anything and everything I showed any interest in. That led to me as an adult feeling immense shame about what I watch on TV, my phone, computer if someone else comes in the room. I'm not doing anything weird or wrong, but I can't help that feeling, so even around my husband I'll turn things off and go watch in another room. What helped was talking to him about it though, and getting headphones so that I can cuddle with him on the couch and watch my shows on my phone or whatever at the same time. I'd suggest talking to her about it, but if she has similar issues, she's got to admit it first. How about "Oh, can I help with that?" once in a while. She works, too. You're obtuse if you're not getting the hint, although she really needs to use her words. Maybe straight up ask her, "Did you help her with the patio furniture at least?" It's clear she doesn't see you pulling your weight now that you have equitable off-work time. Are you sitting on your ass chilling when she moves into chore mode? Do the chores before she can so she has no chance to escape? Is that evil lol? Nah, she could be in her own head sometimes, and she feels like if you stick around you'll want to start a conversation, so she walks away or turns the TV off. Sounds like she needs a room to herself and not just the living room. She's probably just really tired of being around you. My partner is working from home ever since early 2020 and even though I want to spend time with him, I don't want to spend, all of my time with him. Talk with your wife, don't make accusations or anything, keep it chill. Try and open a dialogue about how cooped up couples can feel thanks to the pandemic. See what she says. Can you take some time away for a week or two? Chances are you're cramping her style right now. I know it's not easy to leave, but space is good in many ways. If you have a trusting relationship, this shouldn't be that big of a deal. Just asking because I was doing this with my ex. It was because he was so smelly, I felt sick sitting near him, couldn't breathe because of the smell. Do you shower often? Brush your teeth? Dude, get lost for longer periods of time pursuing your interests and no worries about the wife is thinking. It will spice up your marriage and you will be happier. Which is likely what she wants. Think you probably need to elaborate here and add some additional context. Do you guys spend time physically next to each other much during the day? Do you have sex? Show physical intimacy? Are there any major issues currently in your marriage? Is there a broader question or challenge looming over you guys? Scrolling through the comments, a few questions. Have you tried helping her with the chore she just remembered to do? Something like, "Let me give you a hand with that, then you can put the TV back on." Have you told her you don't care what she watches and since she always turns the TV off when you show up you want to let her know she should just keep watching the show and you'll stay silent about it? Not make comments that you thought were jokes but may have come across as judgmental. Have you asked if the two of you could put together a more structured schedule that gives both of you alone time but also gives the two of you a date night or coffee time together? I think something is off here. Calling it your imagination is hardcore gaslighting. I would have another conversation and study few more days. Looks like she is trying to hide something. It'd be understandable she'd want some space considering you both work from home, but there's no excuse for gaslighting you.